This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gitske. We begin with another shooting, this time injuring an 11-year-old girl in Northeast Bakersfield. Now, Kern County Sheriff's officials described what happened with harrowing detail. It started around 9:15 last night when a family was driving through the area of Jeffrey Street and North Tulare Street. Deputies say a white pickup with two men inside followed the family's vehicle for several blocks, then drove up on the driver's side of their car. That's when deputies say they started shooting, hitting the young girl. According to KCSO, a mother and her 4 kids ranging from 1 year to 14 years old were in the car at the time of the shooting. The suspects drove off before deputies arrived. Now, KCSO says the 11-year-old girl is stable and is expected to survive. No arrests have been made yet. If you know anything, contact KCSO. Now to a startling report suggesting the Bakersfield Police Department continues to use excessive force with people of color. Now the new report comes from the ACLU of Southern California, saying BPD remains one of the deadliest police departments in the state and country. The report says the department is killing Black and Latino people in the vast majority of deadly force cases. The ACLU accuses the department of little change since 2017. From the 2017 report on deadly shootings, beatings, and canine attacks by Kern County law enforcement. Now, we reached out to BPD for comment but have yet to hear back. And 17's Christian Galeno will break down the full report and has more tonight on 17 News at 5. Now in your 17 Court Watch, the man accused of stabbing a 21-year-old woman to death has been taken to a local hospital. His hearing now postponed. Daniel Gunnarsson was taken by ambulance to Kern Medical for unknown reasons. Now, he was supposed to appear in court today to discuss the psychiatric report on whether he is competent to stand trial. The judge has postponed the hearing until Gunnarsson can return. He is accused of stabbing and mutilating the corpse of Katie Pham in May at a home on Skylark Avenue. Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. Kern's third wave is showing no signs of slowing down. Now, Kern Public Health announced another 335 people tested positive for COVID-19. Our average is still rising. Now, on average, about 307 people are getting sick every day in Kern. No new deaths were reported, keeping our total to 1,436 lives lost. 192 people are in the hospital with more severe symptoms of COVID-19. 35 are in the ICU. Now to a local business that is continuing to work to ensure that those we've lost to COVID-19 in Kern County are not forgotten. The memorial outside American Fabrication business in Rosedale continues to grow. It was unveiled in May and currently has 320 names listed. On Saturday, owner Kevin Russell says he will unveil an additional 200 names added to the center wall of the memorial. The company is still asking for more submissions. Just email the name of a loved one you want listed on the memorial to Michelle Bettis at mjlbettis@gmail.com. And Houchin Community Blood Bank wants to help pay tribute to those we've lost to COVID-19. From now to August 28th, they are asking donors to come out and donate blood, plasma, or platelets in memory of someone. They encourage you to use the group code GIVE, G-I-V-E, when you come in to donate. To make an appointment, just call 323-4222 or visit hcbb.com.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
Meantime, Kern Public Health yesterday joined the chorus of health officials calling for those with certain conditions to get a third dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, this follows recent announcements from the FDA and CDC that certain immunocompromised populations should get a third follow-up dose of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Those conditions include organ transplant recipients, cancer patients, those with advanced or untreated HIV, and those on certain medications that lower immune responses. Kern Public Health says people in those populations can get a third dose 28 days after their second dose. And the U.S. could soon recommend COVID booster shots for many Americans, even those without compromised immune systems. Now, two sources tell NBC that federal health officials and medical experts are expected to advise that most people in the country should get boosters. those who are eligible would be looking to get boosters 8 months after their second dose. Now, the guidance would only apply to those 2-shot Pfizer and Moderna vaccines and could go into effect as early as mid-September. All right, taking a look around town now, the rumors are true. The iconic Woolworths building is making some changes, but good news, they're not closing. The iconic Happy Days style soda fountain is not shutting down, but the antique mall is closing. The owners of Moneywise are in the process of purchasing the old 5 and dime built in 1949. Escrow is expected to close in November. The building survived the 1952 earthquake intact. The Woolworths store opened in 1950 and closed in 1944. 17's Robert Price will have a more in-depth look on this on 17 News at 5. In our 17 Business Watch, if you're looking for a job, you'll have the chance to see who's hiring at the outlets at Tejon. A job fair is taking place Wednesday with career opportunities available at Old Navy Outlet, Kate Spade, the Cosmetic Company store, and Carter's Kids and Babies, and more. Now, the event runs from 2 to 4 p.m. in the Suite 210. That's next to Aeropostale. Attendees are asked to dress professionally and bring a resume. No registration is required. Well, retail sales dropped more than expected in July. Now, that's according to the Commerce Department. Shoppers cut back their purchases in July as worries over the Delta variant of COVID-19 tamped down economic activity. The government stimulus also dried up. Retail sales for the month fell more than 1%, worse than the Dow Jones estimates of a 0.3% decline. And same-day delivery service Shipt surveyed 1,000 teachers to find out what students really need. Now, more than half said pencils will be the #1 item to restock. Hand sanitizer and tissues were also high on the priority list. Shipt used the survey data to create a list of teacher-approved items so parents can shop like an expert. The top 2 traditional school supplies that should be crossed off the list: books and book covers. The teachers suggest going with an e-reader instead. All right, switching gears now, let's head over to sports. We learned the Las Vegas Raiders will become the second team to require all attendees at home games to show proof of vaccination. Now, the move was made after the Nevada governor announced that events with more than 250 attendees can operate at more than 50% capacity with state approval. The Raiders are teaming up with the ID company Clear and the Health Pass feature of their free app to verify vaccination status. Vaccinated attendees will not be required to wear a mask during the game. Unvaccinated fans will be able to get the shot on site and must wear a mask. Meantime, the Atlanta Falcons is now the first NFL franchise to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The team made the announcement Monday, saying players can now forego daily tests, mask wearing, and quarantines following close contact with people who test positive. The announcement comes nearly a month after NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell warned teams with non-vaccinated players that they would have to forfeit games that are rescheduled or canceled because of COVID-19 outbreaks. Goodell also said players on both teams wouldn't get paid for those games. As of Saturday, all 32 of the league's teams have topped vaccination rates of 75%, with 15 teams above 95%. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.